Hey everybody, so I feel like this episode here should be a bit of an update. I find myself here at Canoe Cove Marina. As you know, in the last episode, I sailed from Salt Spring Island to get to Canoe Cove to meet Mary, and that went amazing. We've been talking for quite some time, and we've become very close, and now the conversation has turned towards combining our lives together, and so that has created some changes. One of the changes is that I feel like Canoe Cove has become my home. I've been offered a month-to-month lease on some dock space here. Many of you won't be aware of this, but it's incredibly difficult to get moorage space on the west coast of Canada. There's waiting lists for years. I've been on the waiting list here at Canoe Cove since February, and then when I was here, a spot opened up, and I jumped at the opportunity. The other thing that's changing, I guess, with regards to Mary coming on board, literally and figuratively, is that the focus needs to change to a different boat. I feel like Vie Sauvage is still teaching me things. So the plan is still for this summer to spend my time sailing Vie Sauvage, fixing her up and making her right. But the focus now becomes finding that boat that's going to take me across oceans and around the world. The plan is, of course, to get to Scotland, and Vie Sauvage simply can't do that. So here at Canoe Cove, I've started meeting people. Mary has met people, and we are starting to form this community of people together. Mary's back in Colorado right now, but we're making plans to get together. I'm going to go to Colorado late in July and help her moving some stuff around and visiting her family. And then the plan is for her to come back onto the boat, hopefully by late summer. So how that changes me and how that changes the channel, you probably won't notice much difference actually, but I've decided to try to find some work. So I'm going to find work here in the marina. I'll show you around a little bit, but Canoe Cove Marina is a special place. It's surrounded by businesses, marine-based businesses and shipyards and things like that. As well, I'm not that far away from Sydney, which is a bigger center that has a lot of employment opportunities. So I'm working on a few things right now. Hopefully this week I will finalize something, and I'm just going to start working. The channel and the content and sailing will have to happen in the off hours. They'll have to happen on weeknights and weekends, the same as most people. The reality is that the channel just isn't generating the income that I need, nowhere near the income that I need to pay for the dock space, living expenses, and now trying to finance a new boat. So I hope you understand that that's what needs to happen. I guess full disclosure, the channel itself is bringing in about $70 a month in advertising fees, and then Patreon is bringing in another 100. So I'm still at sub $200 a month for all of the content that I produce, and that's fine. It'll build, and it is building and growing, and I'm excited about that, but I need to get going. We found a boat too, so it's for sale. It is a Sparkman and Stevens 43 that requires some renovation work to it, and Mary and I both are quite excited about the idea of fixing this old boat up. It's a classic and it's beautiful, but it's a lot of money, so we're just going to work towards it. That boat is for sale. I don't know if it's going to sell before we can come up with the money or not. If it does, well, then there'll be another boat. But still, we're manifesting that boat. We're focused on that boat and trying to make that happen. I've met, like I said, I've met some people here in the marina, one of which is Sebastian. And Sebastian has really helped me a lot. He has a vehicle here in the marina, and we've become good friends. He needs some help around the boat with some work that he's doing, so I'm offering to do that. You'll see these boxes behind me. Those are two 200-watt solar panels that he's given me, and I'm working them off by refinishing the varnish on his boat, for instance. So we're forming these sort of connections with other people. So he's teaching me how to varnish. When he was young, he to make ends meet, similar to what I'm doing, except I'm not young, he was the varnish king. So he would go around in marinas and find boats that needed varnish work, and then he would do the work. So he's teaching me what he knows. And then here on Vie Sauvage, I'm refinishing all the bright work on the boat as well, using the things that he's teaching me. So you see a little footage of that. You'll see a little bit of footage from when Mary and I went on a little cruise over to Fulford Bay. What else will you see? You'll see, I'll take you on a tour around the marina so that you can see what's here. It's just gorgeous. This is one of the neatest sort of parts of the marina, is up through these paths. There's a couple of paths to take to get up here from the marina, but it's the Stonehouse Pub. So let me show you this. So I spend a little bit of time up here in the pub. Mary and I had lunch up here a couple of times, and then last night I watched, unfortunately, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Edmonton lost. But there's the marina, just down this path, so it's kind of a cool little place, magical little place. Oh, there's some sort of lizard. I gotta find out what kind of lizards those are. They're just tiny. Let me figure that out. There's some wonderful restaurants, and there's a beautiful shipyard. It's filled with these boats. There's a used sailboat parts store that's phenomenal, so I'll show you all that. And then, you know, the plan is to get out fishing finally. We're coming into that season where salmon are going to be open here shortly. I'm collecting data on where to go for cod and rockfish and crab and things like that. So that finally is going to step into high gear here in the coming weeks. But for now, just trying to regain some control over my life and this whole journey, trying to regain focus on getting to Scotland. It's going to take a concerted effort, and I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you sharing the channel with your friends, hitting that like button, and more than anything, I appreciate you if you go over to Patreon and check that out and become a member. You can also become a member here on the YouTube channel as well, so thank you for that. So enjoy. So here's how we get groceries delivered to the boat, is Save on Foods. You just go on the app and you buy the groceries online, and then for $5 they deliver it. And so I just chose that they deliver it to the marina office here. So this was a great discovery, because up till now I've been making trips with the bike and the backpack, and so you can imagine there's not a lot of groceries that you can buy. So try to videotape and deliver groceries at the same time. So just got to fix these bolts there. I just gooped them up because they were leaking, and but the proper thing to do is to take them out, rebed this whole thing. But I took these snaps out that were for the Dodger, the Bimini, these little snaps. They were screwed in here, and now I'm seeing, hey, how's it going, man? And now I'm seeing water coming out. This deck is soft right here. So, I mean, it's fixable. What I have to do, what I'm going to do right now is drill out this hole. I might even drill it out here. Let it drain, and in this heat, in this hot sun, moisture will escape, right? This is really quite hot to the touch. And I might even drill more than one hole. And then ultimately what will need to happen is that I'll have to cut this section out of fiberglass and just see how much rot is in the core on this deck, replace that core, and then re-fiberglass over it. It's actually not that big of a job. But for now, what I need to do is just mitigate the damage as best I can. Okay, so just drilled out a couple exploratory holes on the deck here, and this is the original one that I drilled out, and of course water is coming out of it. But the interesting thing is that the plywood fibers that are coming out are not discolored. They're still, I don't know, wood colored, so it doesn't appear to be rotten. This hole here has water in it, but then when I drilled this hole here, it's perfectly dry and the core is good in it. So what that means is that it's localized to this area here and was definitely coming from these bolt holes. So I mean, it's not good, but at least it seems to be contained, I guess is what I'm saying. So now I've got a bunch of holes in the deck, but I can protect those over the next little while. Anytime it rains, I'll just cover them up, and then the plan will be to just fill them in with fiberglass and seal them up permanently. So I think I'm doing this right. I just need to let this dry out as best I can, and hopefully just save it. You know, that's all I can think of to do. So anyways, if you come up with any ideas, make sure you leave a note for me in the comments. I'd like to hear if you think that's the right plan. Just in this heat here, let it dry out as best I can. Even if it's like weeks, right? Just leave it dry out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 what are they, 3/8 inch holes now, and then the heat on the deck. I don't know, I'm hoping that's enough. I don't know what you think, but let me know. And then obviously I need to rebed those bolts in the Traveler and get that squared off. That's easy though. So okay, let me know what you think. Okay, so just installing the new depth finder. This one finally gave up the ghost, so it's time to install the new one. So I've just fished a line through here down into the bottom. bottom of the boat there. So let's see if I can't bring it up. All right, so we have the new depth finder. Now all I have to do is mount the transducer, and I'm going to do that in a bed of silicone inside the hull. All right, so I got the transducer mounted in a bed of silicone inside the hull, so it's actually still inside the boat, so no through hull. And there we go. We have a working depth finder, finally. Explore it a little more. Canoe Harbour. We're headed off to Fulford Harbour right now. Last week I was around from the other side of the valley, and I was in Burgoyne Bay. It's just so big. It's got its own road systems and things like that. It'd be fun to come across and, you know, be on the bike and just spend a week exploring, camping, exploring. Like, that would be fun. So yeah, we're just going across satellite channel. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it in the notes there. Just going across satellite channel into Fulford Harbour. We're going to go visit Manon and her cafe. We're going to walk around, do a little sightseeing. No wind today for sailing, so of course we're motoring, but it's going to be a fun day. So this is the boat yard. This is where people haul their boats out of the water and then get various services done. They're reinstalling a mast or installing a new mast. It looks like it's just a reinstall. But anyways, there's all sorts of services that are offered here. Here the bottom paint is being done on this boat, but usually when you haul out, you get the bottom cleaned, painted, inspect the through hulls, you know, anything else that needs to be done. This boat here, for instance, has a bow thruster,
that isn't installed right now. So I would imagine that's part of the service of that boat. But yeah, it's pretty neat to just wander through here. I don't like wandering through here during working hours, but just to stay out of everybody's way. It's kind of neat to see the boats in various shapes and sizes and configurations with their hulls and things like that, and the work that's happening to them. So pretty cool place. And then up here on the opposite end of the marina from the pub is an equally cool little spot. This is the used Tradewinds Boaters Exchange,